A huge thank you to everyone who's continued to support my work on Talk Beliefs. I now have a Patreon campaign where all contributions go towards the cost of travel, audio and video equipment, and fees to religious events that I fully intend to continue to infiltrate. Thank you. Well, I'm out and about again in a town not too dissimilar from my town. You got your mall, your train station, your shops, your market, bustling people, and you get, from what I can see in the distance, two elderly Jehovah's Witnesses with their magazine stand and somebody talking to them, slim, I don't know, perhaps he looks like a Hindu. Wonder what he would be talking to them about. Yeah, well, it looks like they're packing up and perhaps they don't like what he's saying. I suspect that he's probably a Christian. Well, I'm going to go up there and see exactly what's going on, and I don't know which one of them I'm going to be speaking to, but it might be fascinating.
He was equal to God.
Well, he says himself that the Father is
I had this conversation, didn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah. But yes, what's interesting is that Jesus accepted worship, and in Matthew chapter 3, when the people came when he was a baby, he was worshipped. Matthew 28, when he was being ascended, the disciples worshipped him. Thomas said, "My Lord and my God." Also in Hebrews chapter 2.
You're happy to believe all that?
Well, I'm just saying that. And also, but you see, one of the
to listen to what Jesus himself said.
Yeah.
And Jesus said
Yeah.
when the
But I'm using the
disciples
scriptures.
tempted him.
Because-
Well, this is what
And obviously,
Jesus
it's like what you said to me
in
last time. You said you don't take one scripture and lift it up. So that's why I'm saying the Bible confirms the Bible. But one of the main things the Watchtower Society teaches, which you will not find in the scriptures, is that Jesus is the Archangel Michael. You will not find it there.
We're simply following Christ's footsteps, all right? He was the faithful witness, and we're following in his footsteps. He is our example.
I don't know why anyone has to follow anyone's footsteps, to be honest.
Well, because he gave us.
Especially a character in a book.
He gave us the Bible. If that's what you think he is, then obviously you wouldn't follow his footsteps.
Yeah, the Bible is man-made. Every holy book on earth is man-made. It's obvious. More than obvious.
We don't believe it. The Bible is a book of prophecy and has proved itself.
No, there's been no prophecies whatsoever other than self-fulfilling prophecies. You know, the Jews will return to their homeland. Oh, big fucking deal. And yes, they did, because they wanted to.
We could debate that for hours, and we could show you. There are many, many examples.
Would you consider yourself an atheist then?
Yes.
Okay.
Of course.
What would you? Do you know, like the world began, and where would you say it came from? Do you ever think about that?
Where did it come from?
Where did the world? Where did it come from? Where did you come from? Where did?
Nobody has all the answers, and perhaps we never will. But science is getting closer and closer to discovering, what the universe is made out of.
Yeah.
Where it all seemed to have started. We may never have the answer.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean that there is a answer that can be discovered, or even if that's important. Why is that important?
Well, did you ever think about? Would you believe that we evolved from lower life forms?
I don't believe it. I see that evidence exists in scientific discovery. So
Right.
It was discovered.
Have you ever looked at the scientific evidence?
Yes.
Okay. Can you give me examples of transitional forms?
Tiktaalik.
And how was that formed? And what kind of
It has.
How was that?
It has
found?
characteristics of a fish and of a land-walking reptile.
Okay.
And so they can fit it within the fossil record between the fish and the land animal.
Right. Can you give me any others?
Oh gosh, everything is a transitional fossil.
Yeah.
See, that's what Christians don't understand. They think you're supposed to find this one, halfway between a duck and a crocodile. That's not the way it works. Everything slowly changes over millions of years.
Yeah. So I would assume, correct me if I'm wrong, because you probably know a bit more about it than me.
I'm not a scientist, so I can't answer everything.
That's right. If the process of evolution took place over millions of years, okay, there should be hundreds and thousands of examples of transitional forms of example. Like there should be lots of those. Would you, if the process took took up millions of years.
Depends what's been found.
Yeah.
You know, and they're still finding things all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, Tiktaalik was only found in 2004 up in Canada.
Because my understanding of evolution, I've sort of studied to a little degree, is that, you know, the fossils that they're found is either be an animal, or it would actually be, okay, nice talking to you, or it'd actually be, lovely lady. That was what I spoke to them before.
If anyone's a discreet slave, it's them. They're slave to the watchtower.
Yeah.
They just don't realize it.
Yeah.
I always like to talk to Mormons or Jehovah's, and I'm very interested in religions.
Really? Okay, it's interesting.
You know,
yeah.
but to me, all of it is just people trying to grasp what is it all about. I need a purpose. I need a reason for being there. I need to know where I came from.
Yeah.
I need to know that I'm an important creation in the universe.
Yeah.
And it's just, I started off believing that because I was brought up Christian, but
Okay.
then it very quickly, I could see through it.
Right.
Because I know what people are like. You know, they're very sort of fragile creatures who, you know, who just can't cope without something propping them up. And I used to be the same.
Yeah. I think,
No.
in my experience, talking to, because I was born a Hindu and I became a Christian when I was 18 years old, and I'm the sort of person who maybe kind of gets into these sort of discussions quite a lot. And in my experience, talking to people, they don't have any kind of faith or religion or any kind of belief or any kind of data or any kind of spiritualism. They have what I call maybe purposes or crux in other things. Some people I know, they'll lean on alcohol, they'll lean on their girlfriend, their boyfriend.
It's no
they're
different.
fine. Exactly, it's no different. So it's almost to the same degree, the same category. We all have something in our lives. For some people it's academia, for some people it's, you know, science. It could be different things.
Yeah.
Completely different. For some people it's a sport, you know. So there's always something there. But I think that the way I look at it is very simply, and I can get into big scientists and debates. As I'm not a scientist, you're not a scientist. But the way, if we look at something, if I was to put it very simply, if we look at something like the Eiffel Tower, if I said to you, you see the beautiful structure of the Eiffel Tower.
Oh, you're not going to do this, are you? Come on. I mean, you can see that it's been designed.
It's
of
been
course
designed.
you can.
But
We know it's designed by human beings. You can't look at the Earth and say, aha, look, there's God's serial number. You can't do
Well,
that.
let's just put it so. Let's just be even more abstract than that. Let's say that when you look at the Eiffel Tower or any painting, you know that there's an artist behind the painting. You know that there's an architect behind
Yes.
it. Someone had to
Yes, and
create
you can
it.
trace
Someone
who
had
that
to
was.
design it.
You can trace who that was to a human being.
Yeah. So when we look at the Earth, the perfect combination of gases, the fact that we're, you know, if we were just a little bit closer to the sun, we'd burn up. If we're a little bit away from the moon, we'll freeze. So it's been perfectly designed. Could we assume that when you look at that
No,
design of the Earth,
there's nothing perfect
that
about
there
it.
is a designer behind it?
It's not perfect. There's earthquakes, there's disease, there's tornadoes, tectonic plates shifting around the place, killing people.
Yeah.
It's not perfect, but we have evolved to adapt to the Earth as best we can.
Right. So you believe you evolved from like a lower life form?
Well, my ancestors did.
Your
yeah.
ancestors,
Yeah.
so-
It's not a belief. It's like the science has looked into this, and they all have found the evidence that points to the same thing. But they are willing to say that, okay, if something else comes along to disprove that, then okay, we'll change our minds, which is something religion won't do.
Yeah. So is it fair to say that even to accept something like evolution, it takes quite a bit of faith?
No.
No?
No. When you look under a microscope and discover something, or dig in the, to find fossils, that's
Yeah.
not faith. You're just...
Yeah. Do you know, I know we probably ain't got all day to have you heard of a guy on YouTube called Ray Comfort?
Unfortunately, yes. He's hilarious. Yeah, the Banana Man, yes. I know.
Oh, right, yeah. Because I've read some of his stuff. It's quite
Yeah, he said the banana was obviously made for a man to hold in his hand. No, the banana we have now has been altered by human beings over the years. A couple of hundred years ago it was this green lump, and that's just the hand of man, not the hand of God.
Oh, so you listen to some of this stuff on YouTube?
A lot of this.
A lot of this stuff, all right.
For a laugh, really.
Yeah. Did you go to the Did you hear about the Atheist convention in America recently?
There's been the Reason Rally.
I don't know if they call it Atheist convention.
No,
I don't know
they wouldn't call it that, no.
Yeah.
But I know of them. Yeah, I've never been to one, but
Yeah.
I know of them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Well, anyway, I'm on my lunch break, so my time is limited. I know you like to read.
I do collect these things, but they're not going to affect me in any way whatsoever.
That's fine, because my job and no one's job is ever to convert people. But I like to say to people that, you know, what Jesus came to bring, and you might have heard this before, he didn't come to bring religion. And actually, Jesus spoke against religion. He came to bring relationship with God.
He came to bring not peace but a sword, and to divide families as well.
Yeah, and I've had that experience, because when I became converted, my father disowned me for my faith.
Yeah.
And there was a sword in the family for a while, and thankfully over some years that's changed. But he came to bring peace with God, reconciling us back to God because of the barrier of sin. But you know, I suspect you've seen this before, but heard it before. But you know, if God is real, I'd encourage you to call upon him yourself. So, look, if you're real.
Been there, done that, prayed, the whole thing, nothing. Other than what I convinced myself was going on, i.e., oh, that coincidence must have been God. Or I decided to do X and it worked out well. That must have been God guiding me.
Well, listen, I'd encourage you to stay open, which I think you are. I work around here, so I might see you again. Nice to.
I love to talk about it, but I don't get aggressive or anything. I might get a bit sort of annoyed.
Yeah.
Because I've been doing this sort of thing a long time, you know, talking with people. But I'll never get sort of aggressive
appreciate
or
that. Yeah.
anything like that, you know. But yeah, I like to think maybe there's something, but I don't think it's anything in any holy book. It's not in the Bible. It's not in the Bhagavad Gita. It's not in anything. That's just people trying to figure stuff out.
Yeah.
And it looks so like mythology. It's just, I can't believe anyone falls for it.
Yeah.
I understand why they fall for it, because people need something.
Yeah.
But I think we've evolved beyond the need for that sort of thing.
Right. But the world is more religious than ever, statistically, if I'm correct.
I don't know. I think whenever I look on Google News about religion, I do every day, it's showing that it's falling. You know, more and more people are in England and in Australia and other places are putting down as religion in a census. They will say none, and that's where it's going.
Yeah.
Because we don't need it.
Yeah. Well, Voltaire predicted it, but it hasn't happened yet. But anyway, my friend, I'll see you around. You take care.
Yeah. If you look at a car, if you look at the Eiffel Tower, you can see that it's designed. Well, duh, of course you can. And you know it's been designed, and you can find out the name, address, and serial number of the person who did design it. But you can't point at the earth and say, aha, this is God, address heaven. You can't. Even if it is true, there's no way of actually knowing, and this is what they fail to understand.